Hello guys, welcome to our channel. Today we're gonna talk about how we can integrate Google Calendar API version 3 with our application, or in this demo we are using MEC application. So today we're gonna see how we can use Google Calendar API in our MEC application. So let's get started. So first of all, I have created a MEC application, and I assume that you already know about how you can, add new MEC application on Visual Studio. So, and I have already implemented a basic authentication for the user in the account controller. So, let's see how we can add Google Calendar implementation in our MEC application. So first of all, we'll add a project, and we have added a class library in our application so that we can add all the functionality and services in separate class library so that you can understand easily. So for the purpose of this implementation, I already have created a database which is comprised of few tables, and it has user profile table, and it also have a Google refresh token to store the token which we will receive from the Google. Okay, so we will jump back to the Visual Studio, and we will add a new folder, and we will name it as Google Calendar API, and then we're gonna add a new class which will be calendar. Okay, and we will change that to public so that it is accessible in our application. Okay, so we will add some properties in this class. I have already created properties, and I'm just gonna copy paste here. Okay, so basically it's a few properties. It's ID, title, description, and location. And then we're gonna add another class, and we will name it as calendar event. Okay, and we'll add two properties in this class also, and these properties are these. So we have created another class, and it's calendar event, and it consists of ID, calendar ID, title, location, description, start date, and date, and to use, to store the calendar event, or to get the events from the calendar API. Okay. So next we will add authenticator, which will basically authenticate the user, and it will tell our application that the user is valid or not, and if it's a valid user, it will give us the authenticator, or it will give us the token. Okay, for that we will add a class, and we will name it as Google authenticator. All right, and we will make it as public, and we will add a property which is the authenticator property from the Google services, and we can use that. It is basically from the namespace of Google API, authentication and auth2. We will resolve this as well, and then we will create two properties. And basically, what it will do, it will it will return us that is the user is valid or not. The last property is basically the refresh token. It will give us the token once the user is authenticated from Google. So I have added some code here, and I will just go through this code. Basically, I have added two functions here. One function, it will accept an Google email, and it will give us the URL which is registered on the on Google console, or Google developer console. So the other method, what it will do, that it will give us the authentication code to get the events from the Google. So let me make this bigger, make a little bit bigger so that you can see it clearly. Okay. All right. So we have created two classes here. One is calendar and the other one is calendar event. And we have also created another class which will basically have some properties, and for the authenticator, it will get the values that is it a valid user or not, and it will get the it will have the getter for the refresh token as well. So then at last we will add another class, and basically what this class will do, that it will have the functions to get all the events from the Google Calendar, and or if you want to create a new event, or if you want to edit an event, or if you want to delete an event, it will have all the functions for that purpose. So we will call that Google Calendar Service Proxy. Okay. So first of all, we'll make it as public, and then we will implement or use the interface, which is basically is authenticator, and is so basically it is inherited from, or it is available in the namespace of Go API and authentication. Okay, so next we will add a constructor, and we will add a constructed, and it will assign, it will assign the authenticator with Google Authenticator, and you know it will initialize the authenticator basically. So next we will add a method which will basically get us back the calendars of the currently logged in user on the Google. Okay. So basically this is the method, and will first of all it will get the authentication or authenticator from the calendar service, and basically is we're gonna use this Go APIs calendar version 3. All right. So it will have the parameter as authenticator, and once it's authenticated, then we will get the calendars of the user. Okay. So we'll get the calendar list dot list dot fetch and dot items dot select, and we will assign this calendars to by using our calendar class. Okay, so it is basically calendar all right. So we have some properties here, and it is ID, title, and description. Now one more property in here is location and location. So it will return user calendars. Okay. So next we will have another function which will basically give us data regarding a specific calendar. All right. So basically it will have a parameter which is calendar ID, and it will get the specific calendar from the this method, and it will give us a specific calendar. Okay. So basically this function is giving us all the calendars, and this function will give us a specific calendar. Okay. So let me resolve. Yeah. We need to create this method for trying the exceptions. So we are heading it on the exception, and we are sending back the messages as a message. All right. So basically, if the application doesn't find a specific calendar from the calendar service, it will throw back an exception that there is no calendar with that ID. Okay, so the next thing is we will add another method which will basically give us the events of a specific user with a it will have a ID. For example, we have it will have it will send back the list, and it will have this the enumerable class we are using here, and it has calendar event class, and it will send back the list of calendar event. Okay, so basically it will have three parameters, and it is calendar ID, start date, and end date. So it will fetch all the events for a specific user from a start to end date. Okay, so first of all, it will authenticate the user, and then it will get the specific calendar from this method, and then it will request for the events, all the events of a calendar ID, and then we will filter the data according to our start date and end date, and then we will send back the list of the events. Okay, so the next method is we will add another method, and which will basically which will basically send us back a specific calendar, and a specific event. For example, we want to edit a specific event, and then we want to update it. So we will have this function to get a specific event. Okay, so same here. The service will first of all authenticate the user, or and then it will fetch the specific calendar event from the calendar, and then it will send back the calendar event. The next thing, we will have another method which will basically create a event for us, and then it will uh, save in the Google Calendar API, or on the Google Calendar. So it will arrange the data according to the event, which is the class, which is for the Google Calendar version 3, and we will arrange the data according to that, and then we will get the result, and we will return the result back to the controller. The next two methods are one for the updation of a specific event, and is one for the deletion of a event. So basically, this will do that it will update a existing calendar event on the Google Calendar, and it will update that specific event. And the last but not least, is used for the deletion of a specific event from the Google Calendar. Okay, and lastly, we will add enumeration for the Google color event colors. For that, we will add a few few colors, like we will give them the ID. At the moment, we are using just for the light blue, so we will send back the color as well to the calendar. Okay, the next thing, we will go back to our web config, and we will add our client ID and client secret. Okay, so after adding these client ID and client secret, and this is the direct URI, that after the Google complete the authentication on which URL on which URL Google will send back the request, or you can say it is a callback function, which is which we will add on in our application in the home controller. Okay, so we will go to our home controller and we will add a function here or action result for getting all the events from the Google API or Google services. So basically it's an action result and it will give us a list of events, and what it will take as a parameter is date time, start date, and end date, and it will return as a view. It will return index view, and we will give the data to this index view. Okay, so we will first of all we will create a private property for accessing the database. For that we have the user context class for the for communicating with the database by using Entity Framework. So we will create a private variable here, and we will. Alright. So we will make a object of the user profile class, and we will initially set it to as null. So next we will get the user profile from the database, which is basically a class of the user. It has user ID, username, and email. Okay, so we will get that from the user profile, and then we will get the first by default and have username, and we can compare that to user.identity and the current user. Okay, so if we don't get any user profile from the database, then we will return to we will redirect back to register and account controller, which means that the user is not registered in our application. So first of all, he has to register in our application. So next we will make a variable, and it is called authenticator, and we will get that from a method which will be and we will create this method here, and it will return back the Google authenticator, and we will resolve this Google authenticator and use the Google API utilities and the Google API. All right. So first of all, we will get that from our session. If it's already in the session, then we don't need to, again get that from the database. All right. So if the authenticator is now or authenticator is not valid, then what we're gonna do is we will get the token from our from database, and by using the entity framework, and then it will get that from equal refresh token table, and get the first of the form, and we will get the token by comparing it to the username property, and we will compare it from the user.identity and name. All right. So we will assign this, assign this property, and basically what we will do that we will pass the all token to the Google authorization helper to get a new token in case the token is expired. Okay. So basically what we will do that we will use this helper and on the Google API, and it has a property which is all right. So we will use this method, use this class, and it has a method. Refresh token. So this class has a method which is refresh authenticator, and it will take a parameter as so take a parameter which is, so we will pass a parameter which is the old token. Okay, and it will give us back the new token. Okay. And then we will scale some error, which is not convert from I haven't select which token, so it was accepting a string parameter, so I was giving an object. So all right, so then we will add or store this authenticator in the session so that we can use it later. Okay. Okay, so it will return this authenticator class, and So it will, get the authenticator from this class, and then it will fetch all the events from the Google API by using pass, and which is we have already created Google Calendar service proxy, and then it will have all the events from this service, and we will create a object model, and then we will check the events, user profile dot email, and it will have start date and end date parameter. And then we will, store the current start date and all right. And then we will return the data to the index view, and we will give the view data on this model. Okay. So we need to create another function which will be, basically what it will do, that it will have the URL which we have, declared on in our web config, which is this one. So we need to create another function or action result. We need to create another action result for this URL, so that the Google can send back request to this URL. Okay, and it will send back the code or the token for the user to communicate with the calendar or events. So first of all, we will get the authenticator from the Google authorization helper, and it has a method which is that authenticator, and it accepts our code, and then we will save the authenticator to session. Okay, and then we will we'll check that if the token is already stored in the database, we will update that code with the new, or if it's not in the database, we will add a new token in the database. Okay, so for that we will create a property, and we'll have the username, and then we will get the user token from the database, so check that if the user token is null, then we're gonna add untoken to the Google refresh token table. And use the Google refresh token class, and I will assign properties. Alright, so username, equal to username, and the refresh token equal to authenticator and refresh token. Or if the token is already there, alright. So I was just misplacing the braces. Okay. So in else we will do that. We will just update the previous token with the new token which we have kept on the Google service. Alright. So at last we will just keep it all. Save changes. And then we will return redirect to action. It is oops. Okay. Sound good? So let's check if we have missed anything. Yeah, we'll call this function here, or we'll call this method here, and it will have the parameters which will be so the index method of form controller will be called, and it will call this action result, and it will pass the parameters, start date and end date. Okay, and it will have all the list of events on the service of Google API, Google service or Google Calendar API, and it will send the data to the index view. So the next thing is we need to register our application on Google Developer Console. So for that we will just check the URL of our application, and which is you can check by click on your web project and click on properties, and then go to web and just note down this URL. Okay, so we will head back to the we will open Google Console Developer, and we will open this URL, and we need to sign in, and then you need to go to the API, and first of all, if you have not enabled API and services, you need to click on this enable API and services, and just search the your desired API of Google of Calendar In this case, we are using the Google Calendar API, so we'll just search Google Calendar, and this is the API, and you just click on the button, which will just come up on this screen, and it will have the button to enable the API. I have already enabled the API, so it is just showing that it is enabled. Okay, so I will go back, and then you need to go to get the client ID and client secret. So for that, we will go to credentials, and then we need to create the credentials to get the client ID and client secret for our application. For that, you need to create credential, and you will select the auth API or client ID. So it will give you some detail that for application that you use or two protocol to call Google API, you can use an auth 2.0 client ID. For that, you must have add the setup auth, and so you need to register your application to get the credentials of client ID and client secret. I have already registered my application here, so you will just give the application name, any name, and then you have to give the redirect URL, which we have defined in the web config. So I have created a URL here. Okay, so you will just need to copy the client ID and client secret. All right. Okay. Let me check if I need to see anything else. So yeah, it may be ask you to set up the consent screen or the consent screen. For that, you need to have a verified domain. It will need to give the application homepage URL and the name of your domain. Okay. Okay. So we will go back to Visual Studio, and let's run an application and see if we can get the events from the Google Calendar. Oh yeah. I forgot to add, the code in the account controller, so that when the user registers in an application, the application should, navigate to Google authorization page, so that it can be authenticated, and then the Google will send back to the URL which we have, which we have entered in the Google Developer Console. So we'll go to account controller, and we will go to our register method, and then when the user has signed up, and when the user is signed up, and instantly we log in the user, and we will create a property, and we will have Google authorization helper, and it will get the URL from the from Google services. So if we get the URL, and it will, it will redirect the user to that specific URL. Okay. So now we are good to go, and let's check this out. So let's check this out, and application has opened the page, and it has navigated us to the register URL, and we will give the username and give a valid Google email, and we can give any password for our application. And once we click on register, and it should take us to the Google page. So yeah, it has taken us to the Google page to verify the Google account, and we will use our any valid email, Google email, to get events from the calendar. So we will, use our email address, and it will, after giving the password, it will go back to our application, and it will fetch all the events from the Google Calendar. And at the moment, it is, giving some warnings that Google hasn't verified this app. So you need to just go to advanced and then click on this, go to save. Okay, so it will give you a consent that this application, is trying to access your information. You want to allow that or not? So we'll give this the credentials, or we will make the application to allow to get the data. So it should get all the events from the Google Calendar. Okay. So these are the this is the event that is actually coming from the Google Calendar. To verify that, let me show you my Google Calendar event, so that we can make sure that we have the we need to go to Google Calendar, and we need to all right. So I have the login from from my email, and you can see that I have an event which is a stand-up meeting, and the description, and the location, and the title of the and time and date of the event. So it is for from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So let's go back to our browser and see. So exactly we have our event which say that we have an event from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So we have successfully implemented Google API Calendar version 3 with the MEC application. So same goes here, in the same way we can add events in the calendar, as well as we can update any event, or we can delete any event as well. So let me show you that, and I'm just gonna close the debugging, and we will we will add a new controller to add the events in the Google Calendar. So we'll add a new controller and we will name that as calendar event. Okay, and I'm just gonna copy paste the code here to save the time, and it will have basically the methods to create the events and to get the specific event and to delete the event. So I'm just gonna copy paste and this. So basically it has two methods here. Just let me resolve this. And all right, so it has two methods. The first one is create, and it will open the create page for creation of a new event, and this is the post method to post the data to the event to the Google Calendar, and this one is used to edit the specific event, and this one is used to post the or update the specific event, and this one is used to use for the deletion of for the event, and this one is it's previously I have already explained that it is used to authenticate the user and then store the if the user don't have the access token, and then we get the token from the database, and then we get a refresh token, and then we save it to the session. So after this, we need to create views for this for for this controller, and we will create two views for this controller, and we'll need to create a view for the create method, and just copy paste the code here, and then need to create another view for the edit method. So I will click on add view, and we will create a new view for this method as well. And so basically what this view is doing is it has these properties for creating a new event and send it back to the calendar event controller, and that controller will save that to the Google Calendar by using the API services. So we need to create a link for the creation of to open the new event screen. So we will add a new button here, and we will have the name as an event, and we'll open the create page of calendar event control. So let us try again, and let me run Visual Studio in debug mode. So we have open our main page, our index page. So we click on add event, and it will have, we can give any title. For example, yeah, let's say that title is meeting and location is it's and we can have meeting and at this moment we will have the meeting in Pizza Hut, and let's have let's have meeting and we will have this meeting from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Okay, so we'll create this event, and yeah, it has created event for us. Okay, so we will go back to our Google Calendar and see if we have the events that we have created in our application. Yeah, so we have actually the events which we have created in our application, and it has also the application also has added the events in the Google Calendar. Okay, so if we edit the event on the Google Calendar and we edit and change the gigahertz to we can have on uh, some other place, maybe McDonald's. Okay, so once we save and we refresh our application, we will have the location change as well. So in this way we can create two-way events, and we can also edit or delete from the Amazee application, and the effect can also be seen on the Google Calendar as well. I hope it was very helpful for all of you, and if you have any question, you can ask me in the comment below section, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you guys need the complete code of this demo, I can share with you as well. So let me know in the comment below section, and please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get the notification of the latest video. So thank you so much guys, and I will get back to you